we'll move on to the next presentation. The title of that presentation is Sustainable Corporate Social Responsibility Practices in the Ghanaian Construction Industry, an observational study by Amoah, Kissi, Adesi, and Owusu-Manu.
Thank you. Doctor, how many minutes? Okay. This study explore corporate social responsibility practices in the Ghanaian construction industry, observational studies. But in alone, we parallel a systematic literature review to compare what is happening at the site to what is in the literature. So, despite the construction sector contribute to economic development, it also have negative impacts on the environment. And the construction industry, my previous presentation from the person that I just take over from was mentioned how the environment is polluted, looking at the way the infrastructure is affecting the water bodies and other things. Studies have shown that corporate social responsibility practices can help the construction industry to manage the risks that is impacting negatively to the environment. So we observe 30 construction projects from 2015 to 2025, and we identify some practices that was helping them managing their environmental risks and other things. We also realized from the literature that the international companies and the developed companies in the developing countries, the big companies in the developing countries, use corporate social responsibility practices as a risk mitigation strategy. But the Ghanaian companies were using it as a way of giving back to society, as a philanthropy, that giving back to society. But now, corporate social responsibility practices have moved from the old CSR to sustainable CSR, which is more focused on a strategy, but not an ordinary practices. So we adopted the preferred reporting item, systematic review, and meta-analysis. And we identify some practices. And that practices were compared to the literature. We realized that there's a clear practical knowledge gap. The literature has pointed out a lot of sustainable CSR practices, which look at combine the sustainability pillars with the Carroll's pyramid. The Carroll's pyramid considers 4 dimensions, and the basic sustainability is also giving us 3 pillars, which is the environment, social, and economic. The Carroll's pyramid, which is the most cited in the literature, is also giving us the economic, the ethics, the legal, and philanthropic components. So combining these 2 together give us 5 of the hierarchies. So we categorize the practices under these 5 dimensions. But we looking at the construction companies in Ghana, they only categorize it under community engagement, environment, cultural dimension, and they are done purposely as a way of giving back to society. So we compare the countries that have adopted these practices, and we realize that the UK, China, US, Malaysia have adopted the pyramid as one, but in the developed country, they only look at CSR as separate from the sustainability. So this study tried to combine the two. And we are able to outline 21 practices in the literature, which is not the construction companies in Ghana precisely are not implemented. Either this, they only look at the planting of trees, giving some donation, giving scholarships as a way of helping society. That is not enough. So we have, because this study is purely observational study, we therefore have some limitation and subjective interpretation. So we recommend future studies to validate this outcome with an empirical data. So that will be the, and so that in future we are able to field. This is the CSR, sustainable CSR pyramid. This is the advance of the Carroll's pyramid from 1991. So this is the new idea from this study adding to the literature. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We'll take a question or two for him. If there are any. Any question? Yes.
Thank you so much. Mine is a comment. I want to say thank you for the insight shared. It's very good. I didn't know that there's that dimension also. At least I've learned something.
Thank you. At least you've escaped the questions. Okay, thank you very much.